Shalom. Ooh, that's a little loud. It's good to see everyone. We are going to begin with Zmirot, songs for Shabbat as we begin. And this evening we are celebrating a special Jewish holiday called Tu B'Av. Anybody know Tu B'Av? Right, it's the Jewish relative equivalent of Valentine's Day. So we will be celebrating that by singing Dodi Li. Join us.
And I'm going to invite everyone who is on Zoom to make sure that you are muting yourself, and I'm going to ask Drew to disable any screen sharing. You can do that under the screen share tab.
We're still getting sound feedback on here.
Yes, continue. What?
There we go.
Okay, Drew, you can X out of that and just... Okay, how about a love song? This one's from Song of Songs. Do, di, li, va, mi, lo, ha, ro, e. Page 11. Ba, sho, sha, ni, do, di, li. Do, di, li, va, mi, lo, ha, ro, e. Ba, sho, sha, ni, do, di, li. Mi, zo, do, la, min, ha, min, ba, mi, zo, do, la, min, ha, min, ba. Are you all with me? Do, di, li, va, mi, lo, ha, ro, e. Ba, sho, sha, ni, do, di, li. Do, di, li, va, mi, lo, ha, ro, e. Ba, sho, sha, ni, do, di, li. Page 24. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei On, Mi-Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi-Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi-Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi-Melech, Malachei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Our Catholic friends borrowed the words of this prayer, Shalom Aleichem, peace be upon you. And if you go to a mass, you'll see that people turn and greet each other and say, peace be upon you. And so when we sing Shalom Aleichem, we're actually asking the same thing, that peace and the angels of Shabbat come and celebrate with us. So turn to the person next to you and wish them a peaceful Shabbat. Introduce yourself if you don't know each other. Say hello.
I assume you didn't get anyone for candles.
No, who's doing
The Glenn family.
the what?
The Glenn family.
I hope everybody has a Shabbat filled with love and peace, and that the angels of Shabbat rest comfortably in our homes and linger a little longer than they think they're going to, so that our homes are filled with just a little bit more joy this Shabbat. We turn now to candle lighting. It's my pleasure to welcome the Glynn family to lead us in the lighting of candles and to stay up there for Kiddush as well. We turn to page 2.
Who's lighting? Do I just do this? I'm gonna, oh. That was easy. What? No, I don't know. Tell me. You better tell us
Hold
what to do. Oh, I didn't bring the book, but I know that.
No. The wrong candles were lit.
Oh, we didn't light them?
I know you didn't like
Oh,
that.
okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm supposed to do that.
That one?
Yeah, light the middle one. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Say the bracha over the middle one, and we're good.
Okay, whatever you want. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvah tov, v'tzivanu l'havlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen. We're going to gather our loved ones close. Stay up there. Gather each other close. You like each other, right?
Yes.
Those of you on the Zoom screen, feel free to, snuggle up to the people on the screen next to you.
We're close.
As we offer priestly blessing for all of us. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom, shalom. Yasem lecha shalom, shalom. Ve'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom, shalom. Yasem lecha shalom, shalom. Ve'yasem lecha shalom. Page 5 is the Kiddush. Lift up the cup of.
Hopefully that's poured in the right place.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher etziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'charta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim. V'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava u'ratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. I believe it is just juice, but one of you should maybe take a sip. Yasher Koch. And Shabbat Shalom.
Page 12.
Lechu neranina, lai, 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 Adonai, lai, 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 Nariya, lai, 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 Litzur Yishenu, lai, 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 lai. Jen, can we get the slides? Let us sing out to God, the maker of all, sure and strong. Let all of creation from mountain to sea hear our song. Or not. Lechu neranina, lai, 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 Adonai, lai, 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 Nariya, lai, 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 Litzur Yishenu, lai, 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 lai. For all of God's wonder, for all of God's wonder and all of God's light, we rejoice, we rejoice. So now let us listen. Now let us listen with all of our hearts to hear God's voice. Lechu neranina, lai, 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 Adonai, lai, 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 Nariya, lai, 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 Litzur Yishenu, lai, 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 lai.
We turn now to page 20 as we join together in L'Chadodi. When we reach the final verse, we invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we welcome the Sabbath bride.
So as a reminder, Tu B'Av, it's a love holiday. We are imagining that Shabbat is our lover that we've been waiting for all week to see. And so we welcome Shabbat in as a bride with all the love that we would use to welcome in our beloved. Ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 linkot kala, ya la 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 penei Shabbat nekabel, ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 linkot kala, ya la 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 penei Shabbat nekabela, Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Ishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, Ushmo echad, L'shem tiferet velitila, ya la 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 lecha dodi, ya la 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 linkot kala, ya la 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 penei Shabbat nekabela, likrat Shabbat v'lino v'nelcha, ki mekor haveracha, Amrosh mikedem nesucha, סוף מעשה ממחשבה תחילה. יאללה לך דודי, יאללה לקראת קלה, יאללה פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5. התעוררי, התעוררי, תברך, קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני, עלייך נגלה. יאללה לך דודי, יאללה לקראת קלה, יאללה פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, יאללה לך דודי, יאללה לקראת קלה, יאללה פני שבת, פני שבת נקבל. יאללה לך דודי, יאללה לקראת קלה, יאללה פני שבת, פני שבת נקבלה. Page 22. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. You've heard this a few times, but just as a reminder, let's do it again. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. Continuing on. ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגין בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. Back to the top. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. Now to the indent. צדיק התמר יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה. שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינובון בשיבה, דשנים ורעננים יהיו. להגיד כי ישר אדוני, צורי ולוב לטמבור.
We turn to page 26 and continue together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach irute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv v'imeru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach. Le'olam u'al me'almaya. Yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei dekudasha, b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram be'alma, ve'imeru. Amen. We invite everyone to rise in body or spirit as we continue with the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
On page 31 at the top together. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, uvkumeinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayeinu, me'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavatcha tasin, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. As we continue chanting from this week's Torah portion, may be seated, page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, קשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. On page 39, we join together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות אוסף אליו, נורא תהילות אוסף אליו, אדוני מלכותך ובניך כהים לפני משה ומרים, זה ליאנו ואמרו, זה ליאנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. In the middle of page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, Borei Sukat Shalom Aleinu, Velkol Amo Yisrael, Ve'al Yerushalayim. Ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ונפש, שבת ונפש, שבת ונפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
As we turn the page, we invite everyone to rise in body or spirit as we join together in the Tehillah. Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevii Gula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Ata, Rav L'Hoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishene Afar, Michamocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'nemanata l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. How shall we sanctify God's name? By being holy ourselves. How do we accomplish this? Let our prayers bring us to sacred deed, to actions that promote justice, harmony, and peace. We continue silently now through page 63, including both the prayers of the prayer book and the prayers of our own hearts. Please be seated at your own pace.
Yehiyu leratzon, imrefi, ve'egyonim bi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Bengali, Bengali, Yehiyu leratzon, imrefi, ve'egyoni bi lefanecha, Adonai tzuri, Adonai tzuri, Bengali, Bengali. As we turn to page 253, we think of our loved ones, members of our community who are in need of healing of mind, healing of body, healing of spirit. There are so many in our world who are in need of that. In particular, on this Shabbat, we think of Barbara Salerno, Linda Jordan, Marilyn Strahl, Jim Tanner, Susan Catherine, Zachary, Jerry Ann Morgan, George Gurneth, Kathy Lowry, Jane Garbodin, Zachary Cohen, Harav Rachel bat Shmuel Ufruma, Shira Hadassah bat Sarah, Ilan ben Rivka, Chana Rachel bat Betty, Jerry Spargel, Shirley Spargel, Richard, Shayla, Pat Fields, Linda Denning, Jamie Adams, Susan Horn, Ronnie Zulke, Holly Helbine, Jill Swiss, Elaine Leskold, Noah Leskold, Sheila Sittig. If there's anyone else that you're thinking of, I invite you to share their names with us at this time. And if you are on Zoom, you're also welcome to put those names in the chat.
From the Zoom, we include Doug Paul, Joe Wildberg, all of those who are struggling with the virus. We pray for all of those caring for those with the virus as well.
Mishem berach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, whom bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor hambracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, healer of the sick. And now a few moments to share good things. Who's got something good to celebrate this Shabbat? We have microphones even. Somebody's got to have something good.
My son started college at Purdue 2 weeks ago.
Mazel tov. Very nice. And now a few moments to share good things. Who's got something good to celebrate this Shabbat? We have microphones even. Somebody's got to have something good.
My son started college at Purdue 2 weeks ago.
My cellar didn't flood and no trees were uprooted from my yard. Yay!
Somebody's got to have something good.
My son started college at Purdue 2 weeks ago.
My cellar didn't flood and no trees were uprooted from my yard. Yay!
Our daughter off at Camp Harlem this week, and I am very happy thinking about how much fun she must be having at her first Camp Shabbat of the summer.
Flood and no trees.
Anybody going to camp this week?
Daughter off at Camp Harlem this week, and I am very happy thinking about how much fun
I'm
she
going
must
to
be having
camp on
at her
Sunday.
first Camp Shabbat.
So am I.
Our boys are going to camp on Sunday. This is good news.
Anybody going to camp this week?
Try this. Just not say anything. Why would that be? I don't understand.
Hidden or sitting in plain sight, and to find how they interact with us and what we can do with them. So over the course of the summer, I tried to learn all sorts of things. By the end of the summer, I was street fluent. I could talk enough, I could speak enough Japanese to get around on my own. I could listen to a baseball game and at least pick up the score. I could order in a restaurant. I couldn't write to save my life. I tried, but it was like calligraphy, and I barely had decent English handwriting, much less calligraphy. But I liked doing haiku. And I remember learning about haiku and fiddling with them that summer. Come to find out, that a prayer that is central to who we are and a prayer that we uttered tonight is in fact haiku. How many of you realized you said haiku earlier tonight? One did. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Count the syllables. 5, 7, 5. For it to be a haiku, it actually has to have three, there are three components. One, it has to have the 5, 7, 5. Two, it has to, realistically, it has to be an introduction to something else. And three, it usually, almost always, talks about nature. So the 5, 7, 5 part we know we have. The introduction part is interesting. Shema appears in this week's Torah portion, and sure enough, what comes immediately afterwards? V'ahavta. And so Shema, in a very real way, functions as an introduction to the V'ahavta prayer, which comes right afterwards. So it fits that definition of haiku. The third part's the harder part, nature. Now, in the Japanese model, nature means the natural world. So the question then is, well, what in Shema, or maybe even in V'ahavta, deals with the natural world? Think about what V'ahavta means. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul. Teach these b'chol levavcha, with all of your heart. Maybe nature, with all your soul. And these words which I command you this day, teach them to your children. Say them when you lie down and when you rise up. When you enter your home, on a doorway and upon your gates. Keep it as a frontlet between your eyes. If we're going to play with metaphor for a moment, they in fact describe the nature of what it means to be a Jew. Now, I know I'm playing homiletics here, so forgive me. But the nature of being a Jew is precisely what V'ahavta describes. That above all else, love. That we connect L'dor Vador. We teach these things to our children. That they become regular parts of our lives when we lie down and when we rise up, in our homes and on our ways. That they are on us, physically on us, on our arms, between our eyes. That they are a part of who we are physically. In that sense, it is all about the nature of being a Jew. Those words of V'ahavta. Then there's the question of, so maybe it's that part of the natural world. Maybe it's a part of how we interact with the world. So when we see the world around us, when we're off on a hike, when we're on a lake, when we're just enjoying a pretty day like we had today, do we pull back and think about love? The love of human to human, the love of human to God, the love of God to human, the love of human to the natural world, the love of the natural world to human. Do we allow those thoughts to percolate in us? Can we figure out a way to see that the love that we're commanded to follow, that we're commanded to produce in V'ahavta, is in fact a natural element? I didn't discover the haiku part of Shema when I was in Japan that summer. I wish I did. But what I discovered that summer was that if we allow ourselves to explore, the whole world opens up. And as I've gone further in my own study personally, as I have gone further in my rabbinate, I have learned that if we only see something like the Shema as the prayer the way we were taught it in 4th grade in Hebrew school, we're missing the point. That we've got to be able to explore further, and we've got to look for those connections. We've got to be able to look out and say, Shema as haiku, how does that make sense? How does that help us connect with a culture that we might think we're completely different from? How do we explore that culture? How do we allow ourselves, how do we give ourselves permission to explore new cultures, to explore new ideas, and say, how do our ideas mesh with those? And when we see somebody who is different, how do we look at them and respond with the love that V'ahavta calls us to do? How do we say, this is someone worthy of our love, and that our tradition calls on us to explore, to enhance that love, to build that love? That, for me, became the beauty of Judaism. It started as a 17-year-old kid in Japan, in Neyagawa Prefecture, wandering around thinking to myself, how much rice can I eat in one summer? Thanking God for kakigori, which was shaved ice, which saved me that summer. and it has carried with me. And when I look at our Jewish tradition, I see a tradition waiting to be explored, but also a tradition waiting to be linked to all sorts of different pieces around the world. And our obligation is to open up that exploration and to study the Jewish world and to study the broader world and find ways to bring them together. And when we do, and when we say that haiku every Friday night, remember that it's not just ours alone, but that we share all of this world with everyone around us. Shabbat Shalom.
We have a few things going on this week. First, though, thank you to Joan again. And Jan, great, for greeting this evening. Our musical program is made possible with generous support from Edgar Snyder and an anonymous donor. Our regular weekly classes include Torah study tomorrow morning at 8:30, in person and on Zoom. Parsha study in person and on Zoom on Wednesdays at noon. I am teaching that one this week, yes.
Because I will be out of town, but the following week I'll trade and I'll do the Shabbat morning one
Yeah,
and the weekly one. 'Cause you'll
and the
be out
week
of town.
after.
I know.
Okay, just
all
making
good.
sure.
It's all good. We're going to finish all of Leviticus by the time I'm done, though. Just fair warning.
I'm going back then. The Saturday morning Saturday morning Torah study, we are going line by line. We are in the middle of Leviticus. We have been in Leviticus
Yeah, when I teach it, we're going into about,
3-ish years.
when I get to teaching that one, we're going into 5th gear and just going. And we'll some of us love Leviticus. Some of us endure Leviticus.
But, and I see a few folks here who have attended my Saturday morning classes. It has opened your eyes to realize that Leviticus is not just something that needs to be endured, yes? Well, if you are unsure about that, then I invite you tomorrow morning at 8:30 to realize that it is not totally as tedious as it appears. It's the best I can do. Okay. If you want to learn Hebrew, this is the last week that we'll still let you into the class. We have learned at this point 5 letters, so I think you can still catch up, and 2 vowels. But you are still welcome to join into that class. Remember to reserve your seats here, or let us know that you're coming to services next week, the following week, and so on. And Joan has been wonderfully gracious and has greeted, I think, just about every week that we've been in person. Every week in person that we've been in person, and I know that she would love some partners and potentially may not be here every week. And so we definitely need more greeters to help welcome people into our building. And also high holiday services. So contact Sunshine Figlio at sunshine@templesinai.pgh.org if you would like to become a greeter. And if you would like to blow shofar, then contact Judy Mahan. Rabbi Fellman will be teaching a class. And Elizabeth has asked me to invite you all on August 1st to fill mason jars with apple cake ingredients.
If you look behind you, you can actually see the ingredients on the table. We look like we're a flour storage facility at the moment.
I actually thought it was like that we were doing a big barbecue and those were coals, but it turns out that it's flour and sugar. And so we are putting together the congregation, the Bracha Center, is putting together carrying bags to deliver to all of our congregants for the High Holy Days. And one of the things that will go into those carrying bags are these jars of apple cake mix. So if you would like to help fill those jars, please come on August 1st, that's a Sunday, at 11 a.m. here, and you will get instructions about what to do.
We turn back now to our prayer books to page 282. We invite everyone to rise in body or spirit for Aleinu L'Shabbat. Aleinu L'Shabbat Ladon HaKol Latekedu La'leotzer Breshit Shelo Asanu Kagoye Haratzot Velo Samanu Kamishpachot Ha'adama Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem V'gor Aleinu Kechol Hamonam V'anachnu Korim Umishtachavim Umodim Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu V'nemar V'haya Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad. We pause now to think of those who came before us, those who gave us life, those with whom we shared life, those who joined together to create this sacred community. As you hear the name of your loved one mentioned, we invite you to rise. Norman Amper, Minnie Apter, Sam Baker, Burton Buddy Bennett, Emily Berman, George Berman, Corinne Blackman, Jean Brandsilver, Rita Cohen, Edna Cooper, Joyce Dunton, Charlene Aaronworth, Samuel Eisner, Rose Barrenfield Fishbein, Raphael Galpern, Leonard Gerson, Pearl Gibbons, David Lee Goldman, Shmuel Mula Gorban, Rhoda Graff, Charles Hall, Harvey Hauptman, Ann Gale Rose Hodge, Sarah Holstein, Grace Kaplan, Robert Klavsky, Bob Korenstein, Blanche Leibovitz, Myron Samuel Landis, Howard Levin, Evelyn B. Levine, Erwin Lockhart, Albert Marcus, Joseph Minden, David Moore, Harvey Roth, Ellen Rothenberg, Roy Schanfarber, Sadie Schwartz, Harriet Winnicott Siegel, Morris Silverman, Hillary Small, Dwayne Sprawls, Thomas Statterman, Max Tabor, Abraham Taylor, Bella Rose Weil, Harry Zerelstein. And to those names, we add the names of those taken from us in recent weeks: Lori Rosenberg, Sarah Rosenblum, Adrian Gibson, and Amanda Cohen. We invite everyone to rise as we join together in one community with the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'vyomechon, u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'elam u'amei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudasha barichu. Ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav. Huya aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God grant comfort to all the bereaved among us. And together we say, Amen. We conclude this evening as we join together in singing L'Dor Vador.
And the words are now up on the screen or the wall. We are gifts and we are blessings. We are history in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. The Dorvador nagin God lecha. The Dorvador, we protect this chain. From generation to generation, the Dorvador, these lips will praise your name. Looking back on the journey that we carry in our hearts, from the shadow of the mountain to the waters that would part. We are blessed and we are holy. We are children of your way. And the words that bring us meaning, we will have the strength to say. The Dorvador nagid God lecha. The Dorvador, we protect this chain. From generation to generation, the Dorvador, these lips will praise your name. The Dorvador nagid God lecha. The Dorvador, we protect this chain. From generation to generation, the Dorvador, these lips will praise your name.